Hello.
Hello.
What's going on, guys?
What the fuck is going on, man? You guys are live right now on the Zach Moonshine Show with Metal Devastation fucking radio. How you doing, man?
Doing fucking great, man. Glad to be talking to you.
Hell yeah, dude. We just got done blasting Stoned Ape, the new single that just came out today, which is fucking badass. I love it, man. Everything about it, man.
Oh, thank you so much, man. Thank you. So the response has been great so far.
Hell yeah, dude. Yeah, I just got the new record, the vinyl. Thanks to Tommy, man. Thank you, dude.
Yeah, man, you're the very first recipient of that record so far. We don't even have them yet.
Mm-hmm.
That's fucked up.
Well, I knew the interview was coming up, and I said, I need to slip this to him as fast as I can.
Man, I appreciate it so much. I wasn't expecting that. I remember you said you were going to send something over, but I didn't know what. I just figured, I don't know. I didn't even think about it, really. I was just like, yeah, man, hell yeah, dude. But when that showed up, I was like, fuck, man. Tommy, you're on another level, dude. Fucking that record and D Calhoun, man, which is also awesome.
Oh, thanks.
Just both of them, man. Amazing records, beautiful fucking artwork. The packaging is amazing. The fucking vinyl records look fucking amazing. They sound great. It's all good. Black Doomba
thank you, man. I've got to give a shout out to our label mate Mike Stewart of Thunderbird Divine. He did all the artwork for our album and absolutely knocked it out of the park for us, man. We gave him like a loose vision of what we were kind of picturing, but it was honestly what we had envisioned was a little bit more typical of the stoner doom kind of aesthetic, and then Mike hit us back with that piece, which was a bunch of our ideas incorporated, but just something that we felt was like truly original, and we were just blown away by it.
Hell yeah, dude. Fuck. Another badass band too, by the way.
Oh yeah. That was one band that when we signed with Black Doomba, we were like, yeah, we're proud to be on a team with these guys.
This artwork, immediately, my first thoughts was fucking Starbucks. It made me think of the fucking Starbucks fucking chick.
It's kind of like that, yeah.
Yeah, but like twisted and fucking stoned and doomed out, like...
Snake covered.
Yeah, dude.
Snakes and boobs.
Gotta have snakes and boobs, man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, can't beat it.
It's beautiful, man. It's amazing, and I love it. And but more importantly, like the sound that you guys are doing on this stuff, man. It's amazing, man. I was already excited before because I had listened to some live footage that I'd seen of you guys playing a while back. Something where you were playing like a montage of different stuff, and I think you did Electric Funeral, Black Sabbath tribute in there. Yeah, I was like, fuck.
Yeah, up until now, we've been pretty select on like what we've let out to the public. That was kind of like on purpose. We've only really put out like a few live videos on YouTube and stuff, and then we've mostly just been kind of building this through like word of mouth, just touring a whole bunch the last few years, and we wanted to land on a good label for our first record and put it out right and put out our first singles the right way, and we definitely landed at a good one with Black Doomba.
Yes, you did, man.
I appreciate that.
And I gotta say, Electric Funeral is one of my favorite Black Sabbath songs ever, man. I love that riff. That thing.
We need to get into a studio soon and record a proper cover of that, because that it's definitely a fan favorite at our live shows. We do that and Working Man by Rush, and we've been both of those are like, if we don't play one of them, people are upset. So we've been talking about getting into the studio and recording those proper.
Yeah. I mean, even the sound quality on that video itself was actually pretty good. I think I remember downloading it or ripping it or something and playing it on the show at some point, if I'm not mistaken. Because I
got to shout out our guy Eric Lenhoff. He's the local guy. He gets most of that video footage for us. He follows us around pretty much any time we're playing anywhere in northern Ohio or even southern Ohio. He'll drive out, see us, film the whole show. He films like every band that he sees, puts them up on his YouTube channel. So got to shout him out for that for sure.
Oh man, you know what? Those people that do that shit are fucking on a whole other level, man. And there's a lot of work that goes into that shit that I think a lot of people don't realize how hard it is to, you know, really capture a band visually with a video and do that, you know, like it's...
And get decent sound at the same time.
Yes. Yeah, dude, it's an art in itself, man, and folks that do that, man, definitely deserve shout-outs, for sure.
Yeah, he does a good job of it. They the problem with using phones is they're made for talking frequencies, not really music. So it's hard to capture like the lower tones in when you record a band with your phone. They do have a couple of mics you can carry with you now. Patrick Salerno's got one. He attaches to his phone. It has a stereo mic. It'll capture a bigger array of things than the regular phone. But yeah, that's a lot of the videos I've had done of myself playing were pretty bad because we're bass and drums and vocals only. And so when I hear it back, I go, "Look, I was there. The bass was really loud. Why is it not even in the video?" Because the phone doesn't pick that stuff up. Hey, Kaleb, tell him if you would, describe where you guys recorded the album and how you did, because that's really interesting and unusual.
Oh, for sure. We recorded at the Mohawk Studio in Sandusky, and it's a big church that was built in the 1800s. Looks like a castle. And they stripped out the main room in there so that it's just like a big, like, reverb chamber essentially. And we recorded like the whole basis of the album, the drums, most of the rhythm guitars, some of the leads, and the bass. We recorded all live, playing in the same room. And then all the vocals and synth and stuff like that was done in overdubs, some guitar overdubs. But the heart of the record is all live, just recorded in that one big room.
Wow. That right there, just saying that alone fucking earns immediately, like, boom, 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 fucking whole bunch of
no click tracks. We didn't even DI anything. I know, like, so many people are really into, like, plug-in guitar tones and stuff, and, like, it's crazy to, like, not DI a bass these days in the studio, but we wanted to do it just old school, like our heroes. Every single sound you hear on the record was recorded with a microphone, and air was moving, and amps were loud as fuck, and, you know, with the exception of the keyboard stuff, although there is a pipe organ part. We used the church's pipe organ in one of the songs on the record. So we went everything. It's a very organic, live off the floor, you know, like I said, no click tracks, anything like that. Old school.
I love that, man. You cannot beat the sound or the feel of air moving in a room when you're playing, man. I mean,
exactly. And being a psychedelic band, we jam a whole lot, and we wanted to capture that, like the dynamics of it. Like on some of the heavier parts, we speed up a little bit, and when we, you know, go soft, we want to slow down a little bit. And when we tried demoing some of the stuff to click tracks before we went in to record the album, and it just felt so sterile and lifeless, and we were like, we need to just get in one room and record this well, get into a good room with good gear, and just, you know, record it right.
Well, dude, let's jump right into it, man, because I always like to ask people about the gear, for all the gearheads out there, myself included, man. Like, what kind of amps and pedals and different shit?
Okay, I've got a pretty unique rig for the genre that we play. I play a single coil Telecaster as my main guitar, and I'd be happy playing pretty much like any Fender Tele off the shelf with single coil pickups. We tune in D standard and drop C, and then pedal wise, I've got a local guy that makes some stuff for me. He modifies a lot of my wah pedals. He's building me a custom fuzz right now. I've got like a Big Muff.
Hell yeah.
Some like Earthquaker Devices is local to where we're at in Ohio, so I use some of their stuff, like the Avalanche Run reverb and delay. Boss Blues Driver, And then my amps, right now I've been using a Fender Hot Rod Deluxe, but I use it as a head, and it's just a clean, like as clean as you can get, and just loud and powerful and lots of low end and stuff like that. And then all of my dirt is coming from either the Big Muff or one of my custom fuzzes. But I have a custom amp head being built right now that I'm going to be picking up in about 2 weeks. And that's kind of based on Fender and Trainwreck amps. It's all very kind of like old bluesy kind of gear. Like if someone looked at my rig, it would probably fit better in like a country band or a blues band.
Yeah.
But
you're feeding it fucking dirty as fuck shit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, I totally understand that, man. You know, I recently grabbed a fucking Valve King, a PV Valve King for fucking nothing. And I was
yeah, those are sick, man.
The thing I love about it the most, like, is not its own fucking I mean, it's dirt channel and everything, like, it's cool, but if you run it if you go into the fucking clean channel of it and just feed it a bunch of shit with preamp pedals and dirt pedals and stuff like that, it really takes it good, and it keeps it to where it's like you can hear every fucking note, but it's still fucking dirty, but you still got the tube thing.
And you get that beefier low end too. You, like, the cleaner you keep your amp and the more headroom that you're leaving for it to, like, for that boost stuff to, like, have the room to do what it does, you'll get a beefier tone. Like, whenever I play with like a Marshall JCM 800, for example, I've had to use one a couple of times on tour, and I always think that the Marshall stuff just sounds like so thin compared to my Fender rig. And, you know, like Fender amps, they're overlooked in the heavy stuff because they don't get dirty on their own.
Yeah.
But if you get the right pedal going into it, like, nothing sounds more monstrous than, you know, most of the amps, like, on the market are based on, like, old Fender Bassmans. They're just, like, with extra gain stages and stuff. But yeah, so that's, I love Fender amps, and I just want, like, something just clean and powerful. Then I can just color it however I want to.
They do have a lot of power, man, and a lot of like their own thing, man. I remember when we were kids, like, it seemed like we always used to laugh about Fender amps. Like, you know, if a friend came over and they had a little Fender practice amp or something, it was like, oh man, you ain't gonna get no metal fucking sound out of that, man. You know, and I mean, truthfully, like, just plugging into it on its own without anything else, it's kind of hard. But when you feed it some good stuff, man, it really takes it to a different level.
Yeah, and when people hear the record too, I mean, on Stoned Ape there's even some examples of it, but we go from, like, crystal clean psychedelic, like Pink Floyd-esque parts, like the intro of Stoned Ape, for example, to the big fuzzed out stuff. And if I'm using something like a Marshall that's more of like a one-trick kind of dirty pony, I can't switch back and forth between that, like, that dynamic range as easily, to where with the Fender it's just like clean Pink Floyd guitar tone. I step on the Big Muff, all of a sudden I've got a huge Doom sound. I step on one of my custom fuzzes and I've got a buzzy surf sound, or, you know, something like that, a Hendrix octave fuzz. Yeah, it's just a great blank canvas, and then, you know, it's like the pedals are your paintbrushes and colors.
David Gilmour, man, like, what a fucking guitar player right there, man.
Oh yeah, we're big on the Floyd worship, and we love the Gilmour eras. We're really big fans of the Syd Barrett era.
Hell
That's
yeah.
one of my personal musical heroes.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah. That old stuff, dude, that fucking Uma Guma.
Just the weird stuff, man. That's like really a lot of what we listen to is just like kind of the weirdest stuff. But the drummer and I have a strong metal background. Like, we grew up playing in a melodic death metal band, so we're really big into, like, Death, Chuck Schuldiner and stuff.
Yeah.
And then we hear, like, all this super weird psych stuff, and it's kind of like fusing those worlds, you know, of, like, the songwriting structures of Death and how they do like those seamless transitions and dynamic shifts, but then also trying to take some influence from like this weird psyched out stuff, and like how can we mix this in a way that, you know, we're not just doing, you know, just straight up riffage and stuff like that. How do we give it some color and that kind of thing?
Yeah, you know what? I was about to ask you about your influences as far as growing up, like when you were a little kid, man. Like, what were some of the first musical things that really brought you in and made you want to become what you're doing now?
So my very first musical influence was actually Michael J. Fox. It was the intro of Back to the Future when he has that little guitar in front of that giant speaker and he hits the chord and it blows him back. I was like, you know, like 7 years old. I saw that and I was like, that is the coolest thing in the world. And then, you know, Johnny Be Good at the end of the movie, and I was like, I want to be this guy. And then I saw Teen Wolf and I heard the Beach Boys. So the first CD I ever got was Beach Boys' Sounds of Summer. And, you know, I'm still just, like, obsessed with, like, that old 60s stuff, the Beach Boys and the Beatles and the Monkees and that kind of thing. And then as I heard Slash, and that's when it was, like, game over. Like, okay, I'm going to get a guitar and start playing. And then through the years, it just got, like, heavier, like, from Guns N' Roses. I got into Van Halen into Metallica, heard Pantera. I went through a big Dimebag phase for a long time. And then my drummer and myself were in that metal band for a few years, and when that metal band broke up, we were just kind of like looking around thinking like, what do we want to do? And the first band we were ever in together played a lot of like High on Fire and Mastodon covers. So we knew we kind of wanted to go back to our roots a little bit, go back towards the stoner rock. But then I got really into, you know, Sid Barrett era Floyd, and got like real deep into the neo-psych bands like King Gizzard and the OCs. And now it's just like a big melting pot. Like anything that's like cool and trippy or riffy, like we're into all of it, and it's all an influence, you know.
Oh man, you're naming all the different kind of stuff that I fucking that I love too, man. Like, yeah, for sure, man.
There's not like a genre out there within the rock world, at least rock, blues, jazz, that I haven't gone through like a little phase love affair with, you know. Like I love punk, I love new wave, I love death metal, everything, you know.
What about Black Sabbath, man? Did you guys get to catch that fucking show on Saturday, man? Did you guys see that?
We caught most of it, yeah. Dude. I was really into it. I was really into most of it.
Man, what a fucking legacy, man. Like, what a fucking insane thing, man. Like, I was watching that.
I was holding back tears at the end when Oz was trying to stand up and he sang that last line in Paranoid Man. I just got goosebumps, and I was like, we are so fucking lucky to have existed at the same time as the greatest band in the fucking world, you know?
That's what I was saying too, man. I was crying when he was singing "My Mom Coming Home," and then
I knew you were gonna say that. That was touching.
It brought back so many memories, because I've seen Ozzy so many times live, and I've heard him sing that song many times throughout my childhood, my teenage years, and then I've seen Sabbath before with the whole original lineup, and just the whole fucking thing. But like, more like the biggest thing about it was, like, I kept thinking I wouldn't even be here doing what I'm doing if it wasn't for these motherfuckers doing what they did.
No, none of us would be, man.
None of us would be. I mean, we all owe that to them, man. Like, they created like all this. Like, it's crazy. So many bands. I mean, millions of bands. Like, fucking every day, thousands of bands email me, dude. Like, what the fuck?
And I thought that was a great thing about that show. For like, in the stoner doom community, like, there's been like a lot of griping about like, oh, we wish there was more like stoner doom representation and stuff. To me, it's like there was, like, I consider Mastodon was, you know, some stoner representation, but like at large, it was like really a great representation of like how vast their legacy is, and like how many different sounds and how many paths that you know. It's not just stoner doom that Sabbath influenced. It's this whole fucking world, and I thought that it was a great celebration that really, you know, was symbolic of that, the entire family tree.
Yeah. I saw some people saying some stuff like that, and I was like, you know, Tom Morello was the coordinator of the whole fucking thing, basically. And it's like they were doing that not only to tribute to Black Sabbath and Ozzy, but they were also doing it to raise money for a charity. So, like,
right.
Of course they had Guns N' Roses and fucking...
And I think I saw they did, like, 190 million or something crazy that.
Almost,
it's like,
almost,
you know...
200 million fucking raised for charity, dude. Like, that's insane. That is so awesome. Like, what a triumph, man. You know, and like, yeah, there could have been fucking a million different bands that could have been picked to be there, but if I'm being honest, my only gripe was I wish that one of the cover songs would have been a Motorhead song, or I wish they would have thrown Lemmy. I wish they would have thrown Lemmy up on the screen during "Mama, I'm Coming Home." Something. That was the only thing. I feel like Lemmy was a huge part of Oz's career, especially in the kind of late '80s. Really helped him like revive his career in a big way. Yeah. And that was like my only thing is like I would have loved to see some Lemmy representation. But other than that, that's still such a small little gripe for me. Like I was 99.999% stoked on it, you know. Oh yeah. It was definitely cool, man. And I mean, you know, I felt like everybody brought their A game and did what they could do as best as they could do under the circumstances, you know. And I could definitely hear some of the bands struggling when they were playing some of the Ozzy tracks, you know, some of the Sabbath tracks. Like you could hear where, you know, they were struggling a little bit to try to hit those notes, man, that he did.
I mean, that's what I was amazed that like Axl was going for Sabbath Bloody Sabbath, for example, because like I've always like listened to that track and been like, he is so insanely high up there. Like, how is he hitting these notes? Like Ozzy and Sabbath, man, was just like something else. No one can sing like that, and it's evident anytime you hear most singers trying to cover Ozzy, it's just something not right about it, and you know. That's just what Ozzy had.
But the way it sounded was Slash doing fucking that riff.
Oh yeah, the band. Yeah, they're one of my favorite bands of all time. I got to see them on the first date of their reunion tour back in, I think it was 2017 that they got back together. The first date of the tour was in Detroit. We had been me and my girlfriend at the time were seated way in the back of the venue, and we got there super early, and the front was kind of empty, so security comes up to us, and they're like, do you guys want to move up to, like, the 6th row? And we're like, fuck yeah, we get... So then we're sitting there, like, 30 feet from Slash, and it was, you know, one of the best shows of my life to this day.
Hell yeah. Seeing him playing that SG, too, the way he was doing, man, oh, shit.
Oh, yeah.
That was cool. Yeah. Yeah, for sure, man. And Pantera fucking doing Electric Funeral and Planet Caravan, man. Amazing.
Oh, yeah. I like the Rival Sons' Electric Funeral, too. They're super underrated. I love that band.
And that dude, Youngblood, man, that did the cover of Changes, man. Like, good God, man, what a voice.
I thought that was the best tribute performance of the whole day. I thought he came out of nowhere and just blew everybody out of the water. Not a single other vocalist touched him that day.
He was fucking amazing. And today, actually, after I got back from, because I went to a funeral today for a good friend, Lisa Atkins. And after I got home, I was thinking about it, and I'm like, you know what? I want to go check out some of that dude's fucking own, like, solo stuff, like, that he does, you know, because I heard that performance on there, and immediately when I started hearing some of his own shit, man, I was just brought down in tears, man. It was like fucking really, I don't know. I don't know what it was. It was very emotional, but I was like, God damn, man, this motherfucker's got a fucking voice, man. Like this.
Yeah, man, I feel like after that performance, where the whole rock world is going to be seeing a lot more of that guy.
And the clip of him giving Ozzy a fucking cross, too, if you've seen that, that was beautiful.
Oh, yeah, yep.
That was beautiful, too. I was like, hell yeah, man. Hell yeah.
I know. Anybody that thinks he shouldn't have been there, listen to him sing Changes, watch that video of him giving Oz that cross. That guy belonged on that stage.
And as soon as he walked up to Ozzy, what was Ozzy doing? He fucking grabbed his shirt and pulled it up, and I was like, what is he doing? But it was like, that was pure fucking Ozzy fucking madness. Like fucking, you know, like you could only, I don't know, man. It just made me laugh.
Oh, yeah.
Man. These guys, dude. Fucking, but yeah, man. Ozzy, a huge fucking influence on everything that we do here, man. Every single thing that we do. Wake up every day, man, and just live this fucking metal life. It all goes back to those fucking those riffs, man, those songs, and it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
When Volume 4 came out, that was my second hard rock album I ever even owned. When Volume 4 came out, that was my introduction. Black Sabbath.
Nice.
I think I was 12. I was 13 years old, I believe. And
that's my favorite Sabbath album.
It's mine just for the fact that that's the first one I had, and for a year or so that was the only one I had, and then I began to realize, oh, there's other albums, and then I started getting on board with the rest of them, because most people name 2 or 3 other ones as the best one or whatever than that one, but for me, because of it being the beginning of my stuff, that one and Machine Head Deep Purple were my 2 first hard rock albums.
Nice. Yeah, for me with Volume 4, it's just so dynamic. Like, that album really shows that, like, the magic of Sabbath wasn't just the heavy riffage, it was how beautiful they could get, and then they come in with that heavy riffage, and it's so much more devastating. And so few bands have that ability to be that devastating and that beautiful, like, in the same song, And I think Volume 4 is, like, the perfect, example of that.
My introduction was actually the Speak of the Devil album, which was actually an Ozzy record. But it was in the early 80s. I think I was like 10 or 11 years old. And I had my weekly allowance, and my mom took me to the record store that was local to us. And that was what I would do, is I would go in there and I would pick out a tape or something. And I went in there, and I remember, like at the time, all the fucking news media and stuff was talking about Ozzy being like evil and crazy and all this stuff. And so I already had like a Motley Crue tape, and I had an Iron Maiden, and so I was feeling like I need to graduate to the next level. I need to get an Ozzy tape. So I went in there looking for an Ozzy tape, and I was thumbing through them, and they had Bark at the Moon and Ultimate Sin and the other stuff, and I was looking at it. I was looking at the covers, because I didn't really know any of the songs really that well, but I just knew that I just needed to grab something. Speak of the Devil.
What'd you get?
Cassette tape just looked cool to me, the way he looked with the fucking blood in his mouth, and I was like, fuck, I gotta get this, and it was on sale, so I grabbed it, and I immediately got in the car afterwards and put on my headphones and put it in my Walkman and put on the tape, hit play, and was the first song, Symptom of the Universe, and his voice, the way that he comes in, fucking alright, I was just like taken away to another world, and then it wasn't long afterwards I was blasting that in my room, and my mom heard it, and she was like, oh, they're singing Black Sabbath songs I used to she was like, I grew up listening to that. And then not long later, she went to a yard sale and they had Paranoid on vinyl, and she brought it home to me. And I listened to that, and heard Electric Funeral and War Pigs and all that stuff, like the original version of it. And that was it right there. Like, that was fucking the pinnacle point for me, I think, that took me from being like an outside observer to fully being just completely engulfed in it, and just like that was it. Like, I just needed more. And not long after, of course, Metallica and Slayer and fucking Panteras and all that stuff, just heavier and heavier. But that was definitely...
My intro to Ozzy's solo was the Randy Rhoads tribute record with all the live stuff that Randy did.
Yeah.
And I knew Sabbath. I had a couple Sabbath records, and I used to sit and, when I was learning to play guitar, just put the Sabbath greatest hits with Ozzy on and just play along to every song on that. So then I got that Randy Rhoads tribute live record, and there's a handful of Sabbath songs, and I knew those. And then you just start hearing all the Randy stuff, and it just like blows you absolutely away. And I think that's probably like my favorite offering of Randy's to this day is that live record.
It's amazing. It is absolutely amazing, man. And he always had, Ozzy always had some good guitar players with him, man. If it wasn't Randy, it was Jakey Lee, and then Zach Wild, and fucking
Gus G.
Bob Gillis.
I think Joe Holmes played in the mid-'90s.
Yes, I saw Joe Holmes at a couple of his shows, too. Amazing, man. All of them. Well, I gotta ask you guys, man.
Awesome.
Let's go back to Black Moon Cult, man. How did you guys get signed to Black Doomba Records? Because I know there's a story there with Tommy.
You want to tell that one, Tommy?
Well, man, normally I actually kind of watch. I'll have a little collection of bands I'm keeping an eye on and watching and going. And sometimes they're signed to somebody else, and I go, this band would fit with me. And I just kind of keep up with them. Some of them I even kind of keep up with their numbers. I actually have charts and stuff. So, but yeah, you think it's funny being on this end of it, being on the label end of it, and when you're in a band, you're thinking, I wonder if any labels are watching you. Yeah, they probably are. Like, they're probably actually...
Yes.
They're checking out your tour schedule. They're seeing what your Spotify numbers are. There are people keeping up with you. So it's not like nobody's ever paying attention. But in Black Doomba, I try to keep the roster down to I want to get with a band that I feel like is special, and bring in. They've got what people want to hear, but they're also doing something a little outside of the box, a little special, and they're a level more creative maybe than the average band, and that's what I'm really looking for. And but I want to work hand in hand with them, like in promotion and everything they need, and anything I can do to make it better for them and make people hear their music. So to do that, I have to have a lot of hands-on, work, and that takes time. So I can't put out 5 albums a week and actually pay attention to them all. So I only put out like 4 to 6 albums a year by bands. That's because I'm really going to work with them, like hands-on. So, but in this case, I had not been watching them for a long time. In fact, I'd never heard of them. So I'm at Maryland Doomfest, and somebody's pointing them out to me and going, yeah, you need to look at this. And I forgot how that went, but anyway, yeah. So I go in there and I watch their show, and they just blew me away. And this is the only band I've ever done this with, and I wouldn't advise any label to really do this, but I just walked up to them and I was like, hey, you guys, that was really good. Hey, I'm like, oh my God, I can't. And I was like, you guys want to talk about maybe a you guys want to talk about maybe signing? I want to know what you're doing. And you got an album coming out anytime soon? You got enough material? How about artwork? Yada, 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 yada. I mean, by the next week, I was putting together a contract to send it to them. So it's almost like I signed them directly from the performance. And I would probably never do that in a million years. But, you know, in their case, it was just so obvious. I went off, and I forgot who I was talking to. I think it was Dave Benzotti. But if it wasn't, it was probably Patrick Salerno. And I was saying, you know, I better sign those guys or offer them a contract. I'm going to propose a contract to them, because if I don't, somebody else is. There's no doubt about it. Somebody's going to sign that band. And sometimes I get beat out by waiting. So I've lost a couple of really good signings I could have had because I was hanging on to them. Well, they're not touring enough right now. And this time I said, no, I'm not him hauling around. I'm going for it. And I'm so glad I did.
Oh, we appreciate that, man.
Yeah, because, you know, and what I hope to do is, if I only get to put out one album with a band and they don't want to re-sign for another album or anything, that's fine, as long as they go up. You know, because to me, that's the whole purpose of what I'm doing, is to try and get them to, they're in a good level now, but if I can help them get to their next level, and maybe they are going to fly away. I always feel like the Wicked Witch looking out the castle window, waving her arms, telling her monkey people to fly, fly, fly. That's how I feel. That's how I feel if the band gets in a bigger level and they go, we're going over to this label now. Thanks a lot. Thanks for all the fish. So, you know the reference. Anyway, that's what happened. I basically got in my head I needed to sign them right after I saw them play. And the last song you played that day was Working Man, your rendition of Working Man.
Yep.
And you know, as soon as you ever seen in cartoons when somebody's eyeballs pop out and they bounce like ping pong balls, you got to go chase them. Their tongue rolls out and goes. And they have to pull it back up. That's how I felt when I was watching. I felt like that. I was like, holy crap. I was very moved. And that's what I'm looking for. Even when I make my own music or when I'm watching somebody else, what I'm looking for is that I'm feeling passionate about what they just did. I'm moved. I'm having emotions. And if it's just another band playing a bunch of riffs, I go, hey, they're a pretty good band. But I'm just kind of not really moved that much. And I like the band, but what I'm really looking for is I want to cry or laugh or something, you know. I want to feel it. So, and I felt it with you guys.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much, man.
I got excited when I saw that you did that, and then when you hit me up, too, to help promote them, I was like, fuck yeah, man. Hell yeah, dude. I'm totally on board with this, man. You know, because, like you said, man, like, I could feel it, man. I was like, you know what, this band, you know, there's some bands that you got the feeling of, like, they're going to go someplace, you know, and...
Oh, they are. This is just the beginning of... I'm glad I got to be a part of their history, at least in the beginning, because this is just the beginning for these guys. These guys, all three of them, there is no dead weight in this band. All three of these guys, and now there's another one. I haven't seen him, so all I can talk about is the three, but in these three guys, all three of them are very talented in their own right. You know, they working together as a unit is just amazing. But yeah, you can look at any of these three guys play without the other ones, and your mouth will come open and go, "Holy crap!" Like Kevin, I had no idea he was the pianist he is.
Oh yeah, our bass player.
Then when I found out he was like this, you know, prodigy over there on the piano, I was like, "Holy crap!" Bass is like his easiest thing he does.
Yep, yeah, he teaches piano lessons for a living, tunes pianos and stuff, so he makes his living as a piano player.
Didn't he teach voice also?
He also teaches voice, yep. And that was, yeah, he does some harmonies and stuff. We're working on incorporating more of that. But Kevin's, you know, piano abilities, we put to use on the record. There's a lot of synth and stuff all over at that. Right, I also play synth, so I layered a ton of synth on there. And when we got the mix and masters back, we were like, man, we put so much key stuff on this, we really should be getting a fourth member. So that's when our new member Logan came into the fold just a couple months ago. And we did our first show with him about 2 weeks ago. It was a private backyard party up in Michigan. And then tomorrow at Holler of Doom in Marydale, Kentucky, he'll be making his public debut with us.
Hell yeah!
Good. I hope to see some clips of that and hear what happens with him.
Oh yeah. He did great at that first private show that we played at, and that was like a little rinky-dink PA and all that kind of stuff, and it still sounded great. It's larger than life now. We were already like a pretty massive sounding band, just the three of us, but with him in the mix now, it's just it's what we've been looking for. We've wanted to be like a Pink Floyd style 4-piece since the beginning of the band, but it's just so hard to find somebody that can play good rock keyboards and synth and theremin and just kind of like all the weird stuff that we needed to throw at a guy, and he just ate it all up and is just killing it.
Man, and I gotta say, man, pianists in general are just really a fucking a force to be reckoned with. But like, there's so many great ones out there that definitely don't get the recognition that they deserve, especially in the fucking metal and rock genre, because everybody's focused on the guitar, and everything else. But like, there's a lot of times, man, when there's a piano player that it just, I know, because one of my first bandmates when I was in high school was a fucking keyboard player, and that's what he did. And he was like raised on Bach and all this weird stuff. I didn't know what the fuck he was doing, but like, he would come over and he knew how to do everything, man. Like, and he was able to translate anything that you could do on guitar over to the piano and vice versa. It's like weird, it's like a different language, like that they know.
So when I was young, my first instrument was piano, and it's not that I'm great at it or anything, but that was my first instrument. So no matter what instrument I play, and I wonder if it's like this for other people, like when I'm playing my bass, while I'm playing, if I'm trying to think of how to play something, I'm visualizing the piano keys, and that's how I see the scales. And then I go, oh, okay, so on this instrument, bass or guitar or whatever I'm playing today, I go, oh, so that'll be like, let's see, 2.5 steps, 3.5 steps, but I still see, because when I was a child, that's what I was raised on, was piano. So Kevin's very much like that with his bass playing and stuff. He's always like, he's a big notes guy. He wants to know, like, this is a C sharp. Like, he wants to know the exact notes of the riff. I'm more of like a guitar, kind of like Nashville numbers guy, to where like this is the 1, this is the 2, this is the flat 5. That's how I visualize. So it's always interesting when we're talking to each other about like our theory knowledge and how we view the fretboard and stuff. It's very different between him, who grew up with piano, and then I grew up playing guitar and drums. So I think of it completely differently than he does. Well, I would think that you and I are a lot alike in that initially, when you're deciding what to play or whatever like that, in the first moments or the first era of writing the song, that you would like, oh, I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do that for a minute. But once your feel takes over, you kind of discard all that and you just play.
Right, yeah. For us,
that's how I do. I'm not thinking...
Theory is more of a composition tool, like how we communicate to each other. Like, when I'm writing something, I'm just going off of feel. I'm not thinking about it. But then once I have a finished piece of music that I go to present to the guys, I want to be able to say, like, our song Ophidian Future, most of it is in 13/8, and it helps the drummer out if I'm able to communicate that to him. A lot of it's in like a Mixolydian mode, so that helps out. Just when we're building the layers and working on harmonies and extra key parts and that kind of thing. And we don't, it's a good mix of like not caring about theory, and then once we have that song down, then we'll bring in the theory to like, let's make this sound sophisticated.
I love it. Since you brought up Ophidian, would it be a good thing to tell everybody what Ophidian Future, what the sort of the theme of it is? Because I think the story of the whole thing's good. Don't even get me started on Stoned Ape Theory. I've had to look all that up too. That's another.
Oh yeah. So
either way, either story is good.
It's the whole record. I'll kind of just go over. It's a loose concept record. All of our songs sort of take place in one fictitious universe. So there'll be lyrics in like our song "At the Mountains of Madness." There's lyrics in that reference and call back to our song "The Moonchild Ritual." It's not necessarily all one connected story, but it all is happening in one world. So if you dig into it, there's a loose concept. But the main story behind Ophidian Future, it was inspired by a few different things. One, the biblical story of the Garden of Eden and the serpent being cast out of the garden and God taking away snake's limbs and that whole thing. And then there was some, like David Icke conspiracy, like reptilian type stuff, and then just like Lovecraftian cosmic horror. And it's all of those influences wrapped together to be a story of like a reptilian serpent race of people that are plotting their revenge and planning on overthrowing the world and taking the garden back from mankind.
Hell yeah.
I love it.
Tell us about these fucking condoms that you were talking about earlier, man.
Yeah, I've got a tin sitting in front of me right now, actually, because once the condoms are gone, they're good for holding your weed. But yeah, we have a deal with One Condoms. I believe they're based out of Philadelphia. That's where we met our condom rep anyway. She came out to our date in Philly a couple months ago. And they hook us up with free condom tins that have our picture on them. And then right now we're getting some new artwork done by our guy Mike Stewart to tie into the theme of the record. There we're going to have like some snakeskin condoms with some artwork. That's kind of
awesome. Oh my god.
That's fucking awesome, man.
It's way awesome.
I'll tell you, our buddy Carl Legel, we were just in Raleigh, North Carolina not too long ago, and Carl and his band Light Heavy were on the bill, and he came up and saw the condom tins, and he's like, what are these? And we told him, he's like, man, this is going on the mantle. So they're a hit, man. They're a great conversation starter at the table, and we give them away for free. So it's like, if you don't have the money for a t-shirt, you can walk away with something of ours from the table that night.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I can think of all kind of selfie condom opportunities.
And we're big, we're big Kiss fans too, man. And like Kiss merchandise, they're the kings of merchandising. When I was a kid and you watch Gene Simmons doing like his office tour and showing off all the Kiss merch, and he's like, Kiss condoms, I thought that was like the coolest thing when I was a kid. So when I saw that One was starting this program, I was like, man, we need Black Moon Call condoms. This is like the Kiss condoms. So that was like a childhood dream come true to have our own band's condoms.
Hell yeah, dude. Fuck yeah, man. That's what I'm talking about right there, man. All right, well, I guess I'm about out of questions for you guys. Is there anything else you want to let the people know, man?
Stoned Ape is out now on all streaming platforms. We're going to be dropping a music video for that very soon. We're very proud of the video. We got a really good director out of Michigan. Put a lot into the special effects and created something that like we feel is, kind of a short sci-fi epic. And then we'll have some more singles coming down the road, and then the record comes out in September.
Hell yeah.
Right. The pre-sales, let's just say, let me, while we're here, hold on. Where's my stuff? Let's see. While we're here, let's just go ahead and say it. August. There it is. BMC. Pre-sale begins on August Friday 15th for the vinyl. And there's two great vinyl variants for that. It'll come with posters and stickers too during the pre-sale at least. So August 15th. Friday, August 15th. Pre-sale begins.
Yep, and then when the record drops in September, I think it drops September 4th, and then we'll be hitting the road a few days after that, doing our first West Coast run. We'll be hitting Denver, Colorado, Albuquerque, New Mexico, Phoenix, Arizona, and then we've got a slew of California dates. We're starting in Southern California and just working our way up the state. So yeah, that's our first time out on the West Coast right after the album comes out. That'll be a good time. Lots of festivals and stuff. Just follow us on the socials, Facebook, Instagram, whatever. We have an official website too, psychedelicblackmooncult.com, and we keep all the dates up on there. So
fuck yeah, man. All right, well, before I let you guys go, can I get you to make us a station tag real quick?
Yeah, man.
Whenever you're ready, say something like, "This is Black Moon Cult, and you're listening to Metal Devastation Radio."
Gotcha. This is Black Moon Cult, and you are listening to Metal Devastation Radio.
Fuck yeah. Hell yeah, man. Well, thank you guys so much for taking the time to talk to us. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us on, man. Thanks for playing the song. Thanks for everything that you're doing for us right now with the PR campaign and all that.
Of course, man. And we're going to keep it going, dude. We're going to keep it fucking going as far as we can, man.
Fuck yeah. And thanks to everybody that tuned in and listened, man. If you're still listening right now, thank you. We appreciate you. Like I said, follow us on all our socials.
Really.